on.
Welcome back. You're watching Hallway Ski Reviews. I'm Nathan, and today we're going to talk about the Blizzard Thunderbird R15 WB LTD. That is a mouthful. I was actually hesitant to do a review on this ski just because I have never skied any other true carving skis, like on-piste skinny carving skis. So, you know, most of my experience on skis comes from, you know, the all-mountain category, you know, 84 to, I don't know, I guess all the way up to powder skis. But I've never skied something as skinny as 76 underfoot. So this was a first for me. I actually picked this up for, you know, end of season sales last year. It's $1,200 ski, and I picked it up for like $700 or $750 or something like that. So, and it was something that I had kind of had my eye on for a while and really was wanting to try out based on other reviews that I had seen. So let's get into it. This is, I skied this in a 174. It has a 15-meter turn radius. It is, what is it, poplar and beech. They call it their, what is it, their true blend pieced wood core. That's what it is. And then it has 2 sheets of Titanal, one being basically on the top here, which it is a fairly strong ski. You know, obviously my experience, I've never been on a true race ski, like a 60-something underfoot race ski. So, you know, my experience is a little different than some people's might be. This guy has, I don't know, it's not a race binding, but it is, you know, kind of a hybrid system, and it has like this metal plate in the middle that kind of keeps everything tight and strong and powerful. It has the active carbon armor, which is actually kind of a cool idea. You know, like when you're skiing it, it feels great. I don't know, you know, exactly what it's doing. It's supposedly it's kind of controlling your flex pattern and your rebound and energy and all of that kind of stuff, and allowing the ski to kind of bend a little bit more naturally. It seems to do all of those things, you know, whether the ski or the carbon armor or whatever it is, like the ski works. So, you know, past that, I'm not an engineer, so what are you gonna do? Anyways, so shape, this has very little rocker here. You know, it's got quite a bit of camber underfoot. I would say that is, I don't know, somewhere in the 5 millimeter of camber underfoot range, and has almost no rocker in the tail. There is just a tiny little bit right there in the back, and then it has this nice aluminum insert in the back that actually, you know, protects the tails and keeps them from getting beat up, which is pretty cool. I always like it when a ski company, you know, does that, because, you know, you put your skis down a lot and they're going to get some damage on the tails. So this protects it and keeps it, you know, looking fresh, and skiing right, and not delaminating in the tails or anything. To me, you know, obviously not skiing on-piste, powerful, you know, true race skis, this is a pretty strong ski. You know, it's got a pretty strong flex, slightly softer towards the end of the tails and the tips, and then pretty strong underfoot. And I think that plate kind of adds to the strength of the center of the ski there too. So this being a carving ski, like that's the all intents and purposes of this ski is carving through and through. Like this is a piste ski. I found this thing on piste to be an exceptional carving ski. it has plenty of power, plenty of dampness. You know, when it's kind of cut up and beat up, like firmer snow, I will always be on this ski because it just does really, really, really well. And it's reactive and powerful and strong on edge, but it also doesn't beat me up. Like, my knees feel a lot better at the end of the day if I ski this versus something else. And you know, this is actually a very maneuverable ski, which is, I did not think was going to be the case. This is a side note, but I did kind of, you know, go off piste and ski moguls and you know, tried to ski in some soft snow, and obviously soft snow was pretty much a flop because, you know, once you get down to 676 underfoot, there's no float. You're just gonna sink. It's not a bobber, it's a sinker. So but in moguls, like, I actually had a lot of fun on this. It was challenging, and you know, it challenges your technique, it challenges your line choice, it challenges you kind of as a skier, but it did surprisingly well. Like, the tails are not extra catchy, you know, as long as you're able to kind of like pop in and out of the moguls and they're not so tight that you're having to bend the ski. This thing actually did really, really well, and I was really surprised. And I skied quite a bit of moguls on them a couple different days just for the challenge of it, and I had a ton of fun. It was a blast. But all that set aside, like, that's not the intents and purposes of this ski. You know, nobody said you should get a Blizzard Thunderbird R15 and go ski in moguls. Never. But you can, which is pretty funny. So let's get back to where this ski is actually meant for. So on-piste performance. They're not the sharpest edges, like they're plenty sharp, but they kind of get less sharp towards the ends. And you know, some skis will have very sharp edges all the way back into the tail, and these kind of, like the factory edge, it, you know, right about there starts to dull out and get a little less sharp. And it, I think between, you know, the little bit of soft flex in the tip and tails, you know, right at the ends, and that slightly less sharp edges, this ski is actually really easy to kind of release and then put back on edge, and release and put back on edge, and you can kind of slarve it around. It never feels catchy, it never feels, you know, too grabby, it never feels like you're so locked into a turn that you couldn't get off if you had to, if somebody like shot out in front of you, or I don't know what, like a deer runs out in front of you, who knows, you're in Whistler and a bear charges at you. You can get off that carved edge and kind of go into a slide and then put it back on edge really quick and easy, and the ski is really happy to do that, which was kind of amazing. I was expecting a little bit more, you know, fight. I was expecting the ski to kind of fight me to get, you know, off the edge more than anything. And I found this thing to be surprisingly easy to ski for what it is, and surprisingly maneuverable. It really is a nice mixed ski. And you know, I ski Western Washington. We get a mix of like frozen crud in the morning some days, and then, you know, slushy, you know, spring snow in the afternoons. And like towards the end of the season, I found myself bringing this up last year and skiing it for the first 2 hours of the morning when it was just rock hard. And then as it softened up, you know, like at some point during that day, I would swap it out and I'd go grab, you know, a more all mountain, you know, base ski, something that does really well in spring slush and snow. You know, like there's lots of, you know, more twin tip oriented, you know, like things with more rocker and, you know, a little bit wider, you know, something I don't know, 94 to 104 does really, really well in spring conditions. So I would bring this, and I would bring kind of a spring slush ski, and I had a total blast on those days. And, you know, to only throw 2 skis in the car and have like the 2 best skis for the conditions that day, and, you know, no holds bar, like you just don't have to make any, you know, like you don't have to try to ski this in slush, and you don't have to try to ski, you know, firm snow on some weird wider rockered ski that doesn't want to hold an edge on firm snow. So this in Western Washington is probably not going to be your only ski. I can't imagine this ski being the one and the only in my quiver. It's not gonna replace everything I have, because, you know, we get too much variation in our snow here. And on a powder day, I would be so sad to be on this. And, you know, in like spring slush, like this would do okay, but it's not gonna be as much fun as something else. But for what it is and the intended purpose and what it can do in, you know, variable on-piste snow, and then, like I said, like a few days after it snows and the, you know, going off-piste, like you could ski moguls just for fun on this thing, and it actually is pretty fun. So it's a really, really great ski, and it's probably something that I'm not going to get rid of for a really long time. It's probably going to stay in my quiver for a really long time because it fits a specific purpose that I'm looking for, you know, in those firm snow spring days, or the really nice, perfectly groomed, you know, nice firm days throughout the season. Like any time that you get firmer conditions or you haven't had snow in a while. I mean, last year we got 2 months of no snow, and if I would have had this all year long, I would have absolutely skied this thing throughout all of that, you know, low snow days. Like, it would have been awesome. I wish I would have had it at that point, but I hadn't bought it yet. So if you guys are looking for, I don't know, your first on-piste carving, you know, ski, this is a tremendous option. Like, I don't know if I could have picked a better option. You know, obviously I've only skied the one ski for a piste ski, but things that I hear from friends and, you know, people on the chairlift and other reviews that I've read, like, some of those skis just sound awful. Like Blizzard's own Firebird sounds like a lot to handle, or more to handle than this, and this, for me, at my mountain, strikes a extremely good balance. And the, you know, the 15-meter turn radius, you can make some really short turn radius, you know, turns, and you can also carve out some like pretty long radius, just cruising flowy. You know, you don't have to be on top of this all the time. Like, you can cruise on this ski and it's a total blast. So anyways, I'm not quite sure what to say past that, just because I haven't skied a lot of other piste skis. But compared to all of the things that I've skied and the conditions that I ski in, and, you know, I would highly suggest, if you're looking for a on-piste ski that can deal with, you know, mixed conditions, this is a great option. So, you know, probably not the only option out there, but for me it works perfectly, and I've absolutely enjoyed every day that I've had out on these. So hope you guys enjoyed that. And you know, Blizzard does have other turn radius shapes and stiffnesses. They have like the R15, and then they have an R13, which is like a slalom, more slalom style ski, shorter turn radius. And then next year they're coming out with a 82 underfoot version of this ski. So it's a little stronger, a little more powerful, a little more girth under the foot. And it probably does even better in variable snow. And then for, you know, like, I'm 200 pounds, 5'10-ish, 5'11". this fit me really well. If you're 250, maybe the 82 underfoot makes a little bit more sense, just because your weight, you're going to push through the ski a little more, and the 82 gives you a little more girth, a little more strength, and that would be awesome. And then if you're not ready for, this strong of a ski, they do have like the sport package. They have, it's a little softer, a little more friendly, probably less sharp edges and things like that. And, I bet that could work for anybody that is wanting to carve and wanting to, work towards great carving turns. So this guy, as far as, what level, I would say you should probably know how to carve already. I wouldn't say that this probably is a good ski to learn how to carve on, but if you know how to carve and you want to get better at it, that's the point where you would step to this guy and really, you would really enjoy it. So anyways, this is Nathan, Hallway Ski Reviews. Hope you enjoyed that, and we'll get some more at you soon.